Yo, hey, what's up, guys? So today we're going to be talking about ConvoTelemetry. ConvoTelemetry is an app that was made to solve one specific question. Let's say it's been 2 years already, or a year, that you've been using ChatGPT, and so the main question from here comes: what do you do to keep track of everything that's been happening? Do you wait until OpenAI releases the end of the year summary? Are you supposed to run on vibes? Well, not really. Data is important. Data is super helpful to know, to take decisions, see what's up, what's happening. And ConvoTelemetry is just for that. Because sometimes it just takes the simplest little details that at the end are gonna be paying out in the long run. Because when you are keeping track of your conversations with ConvoTelemetry, you can get an access of what's been happening, the vibes, keep track, and really it helps to see which conversations are worth looking back on. Because, for example, you already have like bunch of conversations and there could be different methods to keep track of it. Sometimes you can try renaming it or marking it as important, but ConvoTelemetry just gives you that summary with a one button click. It's like the dashboard that was missing. I really hoped it could have been a default feature back in the day, but it's not. 2 years already. So ConvoTelemetry takes that step further because you can use it with any AI, like not just ChatGPT. You can use it with Claude, with your personal local workstations, Grok, Gemini, whoever you want. It just takes an LLM. This structure is made for all AI actually. So when you get to the download page, you're just gonna download it right here. Let's get started. All right, we install it right away. Let's just you drag it. Super simple, super quick. And right away, you're gonna be noticing that because this one is already notarized, everything, you just open it. It's gonna ask about the downloader from the internet. You just open it and you're gonna see the dashboard. First time, obviously it's gonna be empty because from here, we are gonna be populating it with our conversations. Now, let's see how we do that. We have a section here that gives you a little bit more of the introduction, the concept, but the idea overall is that we're gonna be logging in to each of these relevant conversations we're gonna keep track of. We go there and we drop in the payload request. Just step one, extract the telemetry here, grab this text right here, and you just keep preparing it for your chats. Grab the conversation. I already had a couple of these conversations ready. So like I was saying, here was some theoretic strategies, some personal consequences, planning of my own thing. I'm just keeping it diverse so that you can know that it could be more flexible and so that it captures different aspects. But I literally could just choose any of these. I'm just using it as an example so that you can see these results right away. So basically you copy this to the clipboard, you send it in, and voila, it's already sent in the first request. It's gonna be thinking, you're gonna be waiting, but just give it a little bit of time. You can prepare your record by including the link of that conversation so that you can visit back later on. We did add that feature, super helpful. And you're gonna see that it's gonna spit out that code. You just don't worry about it. Let's do it for more conversations so that we can have some parallel tasks going. Oop, this one got interrupted. Yeah, all right. Yep, it just keeps on printing because we already gave it a task. We have a specific goal. So, okay, we're here going up. Well, let's put some thinking here. It's lagging a little bit. Okay, but anyway, so yeah, we have the first chat. We come back here. We have that response, that big chunk. You don't worry about that. That's the simplicity here. You just paste it and voila, create a semantic journey right away. That's basically it. You're gonna do this with the conversations. That's like the actual human step. That's everything that it takes. And the engine, everything is being processed by the app. The AI knows what to do. The good thing is that over time, as it becomes added to your library, you can create a larger connection, and it's gonna show you the different nodes, the things. So we're just gonna continue with the other ones so you can see how it grows. Okay, so we got this chat right here. We follow the process, voila. We know where to click, where to paste. It's very simple, very straightforward, and you see it keeps growing. Continue with this one, yep. And flop, super quick, very quick. We already have all this data from 3 chats. We're just starting up. Okay, we can visit them in the future. Let's just close it here in the meantime so that we can test it out, no problem. Okay, so from 3 chats, we have all of this already. We have a main dashboard. It's going to be mentioning here all recent journeys that were logged, We have the semantic nodes, the circles, those circles that were captured. The average emotional temp, that's more about the creativity, about logic based. So lower numbers are like utility focused tasks, logic, and the higher temps are more about the creative aspects. Now, actually, the smarter AIs would usually rate themselves as it's higher temp. If you're talking to a super simple, straightforward Gemini Flash they're usually going to be rating it lower because they don't have that connection creativity. But yeah, there's also this feature here about the artifacts generated, and it's because when you are sharing or when the conversation itself has generated things, you want to know that. You want to know which, from where, what came from, or which files you uploaded to give it as a context. It's already there in the artifacts. So here also we have certain topics that will be recurring in the future. As you can see how they stack up, you're going to be getting a personal trend, general trend of what are the things you are usually talking about. So these boxes are going to be super dynamic and changing over time, but you are definitely going to see some numbers trending over certain areas that are really going to echo about the things you are talking about. And that's it. Like, really, we have all these other convenient features like the summary of all the conversation itself, like a general gist. I didn't have that already. Now I do have it with ConvoTelemetry. Now it's going to be adding up all those circles. Sometimes it gets a lot. I have one conversation that has like 14 of them and it just keeps adding up, but I'll show you later. In this moment, what we can do, as you can see here, we have the buttons to visit the link directly, or there's also a ChatGPT and a Claude button. This one is so that you can ask about the current telemetry on another conversation, so that you can have like a parallel thing going on, so that you won't mess up the ongoing context. You want to have a judge GPT come in, rate that conversation, see what's up. You can do that. All right, so in this case, as you can see, I was not logged in to this Chrome because I'm using a separate account, so I wasn't logged in. But you can change it to Safari. I'm going to be changing it. It's just not logged in, so I'm gonna have to change that on the default settings here on my Mac. So there's a reveal button, reveal in library. So when you reveal that button, it's gonna open the folders that are capturing these conversations. And important thing is that after the first run, you need to reset the app so that it loads up correctly and keeps track. So don't worry if the first time you're pressing it and it's not opening. It just takes a little reload to create the database that you are starting up on, so it knows which values to put. So I'm going to put a little section here. I'm going to show you how I'm using it to change my default browser in case you're not logged into that one. Let's say you're using Safari or not Chrome. Well, we just did it. I was logged in on Safari, so we continue with yet another chat. Yep. And from here, you visit the chat and it goes back to that chat you logged in. So it works. You use Chrome, no problem. So you come back to that conversation, you can follow up on it. Now, let's say that you are already continuing that conversation after that first milestone, that checkpoint. So if you read on the request itself, there was a part where we are asking ChatGPT to treat that checkpoint as a milestone, like a little flag you're planting it, so that when the second time or the following times you're going to follow up on that, it's going to be like, okay, so we already marked this, we're going to continue from here on, so it doesn't mix up, it doesn't compress, so that you can keep your reliability on long sessions. So there is a follow-up prompt here, and then you paste the response after the checkpoint on this box. We're going to do it right here, and then we copy it back. Since we already requested it, there's not much to compare in the future, milestone 1, 2. So we leave it so that you can try it on your own. But here, the main part is that when you paste the response and back, it's gonna update the notes, and you're gonna see even larger notes growing up, and it's gonna be all recorded, one click. It's like the missing containers for your conversations. So it's super useful to use ConvoTelemetry. Honestly, like, when you're trying to see where, what you did, or general trending, general analytics of what you're doing, what you're talking about, because you're paying money for it, so you might as well know that, right? Exactly. So you can follow up, talk about it, and there's a bunch of things that you can do with ConvoTelemetry. So this is pretty packed, and one of the things that I really like is how versatile it is, because you can mark the conversations that you already tagged on ConvoTelemetry on your regular chat. You just write, I like to use like a CTL to write that this conversation is part of the ConvoTelemetry, because there are some conversations that are pretty short, you're not going to be needing to tag, but others, yeah. So adding that little CTL is super important to keep track. Little tip right there. Now there's another super cool feature in ConvoTelemetry, which if you check on the nodes themselves, there's a thing that there's like a D and a number. That is to write the semantic jump, like how unrelated or related one topic from the next was. So in this case, we can see the D was 5, and then we have 4, and then we have 2, and this just actually gives us a clue of how that conversation went. Because at the beginning, we can see that, yeah, we are starting with a topic, and then it's kind of formalizing into a cluster. When the topics are like more related, it seems that the conversation is gravitating more towards that. First one was exploration, then we got the design lab, and then it got more and more related into that topic, the creative launch execution. And those are things that you can actually find out with just ConvoTelemetry. All of this, in this case, let's see, a system design, creative, explaining all of that, but all these jumps, all these calculations, it's all part of the prompt that ConvoTelemetry gives you, and you can keep updating on it. So it's a lot of information that you're getting that actually you could have had it all along. So ConvoTelemetry is just that missing piece to give you access of everything that you're doing with all your AI, so that you can take more informed decisions of what's up, what's happening, what you're talking about, and also where to follow up on, which conversations were the important. One button press and you're back on it. Regular chats, you need to scroll down or have it saved somewhere, or I don't know what you're using, but I've been struggling the old way. But with ConvoTelemetry, it's just making it all efficient for you, making it all efficient for your experience, so that you can keep producing, growing, exploring, and know what's up with that. It's just, at the end, ConvoTelemetry, one of my favorite things is that this is a kind of app that the more you use it, the more you feed your conversations to it, it's gonna paint a general picture of what's happening, your average emotional time, your nodes, your artifacts, the topics you're usually circulating about. Let's say you wanna be a content creator and you are already like gravitating towards certain topics. Well, this one not only gives you like the most important topics for you, but the ones you already have like super explored and you could talk about in your content. So a lot of information. But yeah, ConvoTelemetry has been such an experience to make, and it's already out there now. You can get it. So if there's any questions, want to know more, let me know.